In this lecture, let's understand about DHCP. The term DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It's a client server architecture protocol that's used to automatically append the IP configurations from the server to all the devices in your network. Like when I say IP configuration, it includes your IP address to the device, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS server IP address, and in some cases, you can add few more informations that's required for the network. Like if there is an wireless devices, you can also give the WLC, the controller IP on the DHCP. Okay, so basically, the DHCP will help to get the IP configurations automatically instead of manual configurations. Okay, it reduces the manual configuration by centralizing the IP address management on the DHCP server, minimizing the human errors such as duplicate IPs or wrong gateway configurations. Consider that you have thousands of devices in your network. Okay, when you configure manually, if you're trying to configure manually the IP configurations on all your devices, there is a chance that by mistake we may configure duplicate IP to any device, right? Or we can configure incorrect IP for gateway or DNS, and that lead to some other issues in the network. So when you have more number of devices, it's always a best practice to have a DHCP server in your network so that any device that connects to your network will automatically request and get the IP configurations from your DHCP server. Okay, so this DHCP operation is based on UDP, uh, and if it's a client server architecture, right? As I said earlier, the server will be listening on DHCP UDP port 67, where the client will be listening on UDP port 68. So it follows a DORA process. Maybe we'll be discussing about DORA process in the upcoming slides. So first, let's go with this same flow. The DHCP client initially has no IP address, so it must communicate using broadcast messages to discover the DHCP server in the network. Like the entire DHCP process, almost most of the communication will be happening on DHCP with the broadcast. Okay. Uh, the DHCP server maintains the pool of IP addresses, including other informations like from what IP range, like from what IP to what IP it need to allocate or assign to the client, what the gateway it should give to the client, and what is the DNS server it should be assigning, and what is the lease time. Like say for example, when a server offer one IP address to a client, what is the lease time like it can use? Because in DHCP there is nothing like permanent IP address. Say for example, if a server is giving one IP like 10.10.10.1 to a client, that particular IP is not a fixed IP to that client. It has some lease period we can configure like 1 hour, 3 hours, 1 day, 24 hours, 48 hours, like that. So that particular client will be eligible. That particular client will be using that IP only for the lease time that we have configured in the DHCP server. So once the lease time is expired, then again the client will initiate for request for the new IP address and will get it. Okay. So that's what it's mentioned here. If IP addresses are not IP addresses are leased and it's not a permanent assigned, allowing efficient reuse of addresses when devices disconnect from the network. This is very much helpful to avoid IP wastage. Like say for example, when people are working in shift, if one IP is allocated to a device and if it is a kind of permanent allocation, then after the shift time of that particular user, that IP is still unused, right? However, in this lease method, if that user is logging off, then that IP will be released after the lease period. So the same IP can be allocated or offered to some other devices in the network. Okay. And this DHCP, it's not only for the user machine. Okay. So when I say this DHCP helps to get the IP address, it's not only for the client end device like a laptop or PC. You can even for a network devices, like any network devices, a router or a switch, to whatever device, you can a server that can get an IP address automatically from the DHCP server. Okay. And there are two possibilities. One is like when you have the DHCP server within your same LAN or within a same network, there are no issues because the entire broadcast, it purely depends on the broadcast, right? So, however, if in case your LAN is in one subnet and your DHCP server is sitting on the different subnet or basically of different VLAN, then there is something like IP helper address. So this is very important command that you need to configure on the gateway of that particular network. Okay, so that this command will this command will help to communicate from one network or one VLAN to the DHCP server that is sitting on the other VLAN. Okay. And DHCP supports scalability and mobility, allowing the device to move between network and automatically receive valid IP configuration. It's because of this IP helper command. But if in case your DHCP server and your LAN both are in same network, you no need to configure this command. The DHCP server is the DHCP service is working based on this DORA process. Like the term DORA stands for discover. Like if you look on this way, DORA, the D stands for discover, O stands for offer, R stands for request, and A stands for acknowledgement. Means how the DORA works is like this, just consider that this is a server where already all the pool informations and other stuffs are already configured here, and when a new client is connected to the network, it won't have any IP address to it, right? So it will automatically send an discover message. It's a broadcast message which like it will put all the destination as 255.255.255, and source port is 68 and destination port is 767. Okay, when that particular message is broadcasted, all other devices in the network will reject it because only DHCP server will be listening on the port 67, right? So once that DHCP server receives this discover message, then it will understand, okay, this is a new client that's connected to a network that doesn't have any IP address. I need to allocate one IP. So it will look on its pool. Maybe if the pool ranges from 10.10.10.1 to 10.10.10.100, it will take a free IP, maybe like 10.10.10.1. If that is free, then it will give that IP in an offer message to the client. So when it gives, like it not only gives the IP, as I said earlier, DHCP will give IP address, subnet informations, your default gateway, the DNS IP address, and more. Okay. So once it is offered to um, the client, what it will do, it will request. Okay, the client will again request the server. He's telling, okay, you have given me the IP, I'm okay with this IP, please reserve this IP for me. Okay, that's what it is requesting. So once it received its request, and it will add that particular IP post on the request. It considered that this is the confirmation from the client requesting for the same IP which is offered here. It will add or map this IP in its server, and it will send an acknowledgement saying that a client, you have reserved you an IP 10.10.10.10 or 10.10.10.1. So going forward, you will use that IP. So once the acknowledgement is sent, the client, it will save that IP in its configurations and it will start to work. This is what the DORA process is. Here there are a couple of additional informations like before the server offer one IP, what it will do, it will ensure that that IP is not used by anyone in the network. So what it will do, if in case you're it's going to assign some IP like 10.10.10.1, what it do, it will just put an ARP message. Okay, to see if it's getting some response from other devices, just to avoid duplicate IP. Okay, so server will do that check, and if no one is sending back any response to that IP, only then it will send the offer for that IP. And also from the client side also, there is one checks that will be happening to avoid IP conflicts. So once the acknowledgement message is sent from server here, and like this client will before it's saved or once it's saved to its configurations, what it will do, it will send a GR, the gratuitous ARP it will send. What does the gratuitous ARP means? Like the source also will be 10.10.10.1 and destination also will be 10.10.10.1. So that means already server checked once, right, before it's offering. So it's a check from the client side. Once it received the acknowledgement from the server, it is also trying to ping the same IP. In the gratuitous ORP, as I said, GRP, you will see both the source IP and destination IP will be same. Why it's sending such request is to ensure like there is no other device using the same IP. If because if in case there is an other device in the network using the same IP, maybe it would respond to it, and from that client will understand that this is a duplicate IP and it will inform to the DHCP server, right? But in the GR, when it sends out, if it's not getting any response, then client also double checks and confirm, okay, this is a unique IP, no one is using it, so I'm going to use it. So that's how the DORA process works. And the client server client communicate with server and gets the IP from the DHCP pool. So this is all about the theoretical understanding of DORA and DHCP. Maybe in the next video, let's practically understand about the DORA process